Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to yet another Superdorf show. Now, that's going to be brought to you by Ship Your Reptiles. Guys, if you have not heard yet, please go check out Ship Your Reptiles using the link below. They are not only going to give you the best quality in reptile shipment that there is today, but if you use our code Superdorf, you're going to get an automatic 15% off of your first shipment with them and a boost to a preferred shipper status. And that's going to help out a lot with those first-time reptile buys, but I promise you, if you keep using those, you're going to get value time and time again. All right, spoken enough about that. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me help you, or let me help myself. Welcome the host. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. It is Garrett Hartle. And now what's this? Riley Hartle, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome them to the show.
She looks thrilled to be here.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on, Riley.
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Ooh, in the shades, too.
I know.
Lovely.
I like this. This is my favorite feature, the flip up. How do they match my orange Retic Fest shirt?
They don't really, but the style goes hand in hand.
That was very 90s, though. I don't think anything matched. It was like the more colorful. It was like early 90s, right? Kind of like late 80s, early 90s. Throw up a bunch of colors. That's your.
That's it.
I remember that time.
Yeah. So,
guys.
Anyways, we're dressed up because we got the Retic Fest coming up in what? 2 weeks?
3 weeks. It's the second today. Retic Fest is July 19th, so a little over 2 weeks before we start cooking. But guys, check out these shirts. We got Riley in green, Garrett's in orange. You look good in orange, Garrett. It goes well with your skin tone.
Thanks. Makes me even more orange.
And then I'm over here in a purple one. Probably my favorite. I like the violet color. But guys, go get them at the link below. That's going to be.
Jeremy wanted tan.
I wanted a
this
tan
design
one.
on a tan
Okay, now
shirt.
you're going to out me. We're going to do this here.
I'm going to out you live.
Yeah, I wanted a tan one.
Can you guys please let us know in the comment section if this like throw up of color that is this logo, which was designed actually by your sister Kira. That was pretty like it's a pretty cool logo. There's a lot going on, but if you see it in person, it's very Saved by the Bell looking. But yeah, she designed the logo, and he wanted to put all this color on a tan shirt. So I don't know. Let us know in the chat if you think that would be a good idea. But is it too late for them to get their shirts if they want to order it if they're coming to Retic Fest?
Not too late yet. You got to do it soon though.
Yeah, because it takes a little bit to turn around. It's like a little over 2 weeks until the thing. Turnaround is usually like, I don't know, when do they receive it? It's like a week, 10 days?
It's usually 10 days, but it can be up to 2 weeks.
Okay, so
usually
it's not us shipping them from here. It's all direct order stuff.
And
so where can they get the shirts?
You can get them from the link below. I have a link in the description there. You want to go ahead, copy that link, paste it, choose your favorite color, and then I'll take care of the rest for you.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, go ahead and order those if you want them before Retic Fest. Should be pretty fun. You looking forward to Retic Fest? It's not on your birthday this year.
I know. I can't wait.
So, guys, we just got back from the LA Pet Fair / Reptile Super Show in Pomona. That was awesome. And when I say we, I mean me and Riley. You got to tag along for that one.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest experiences I had at a show.
That was the first reptile show you've ever vended.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Do we want to get into that? How much stuff? I mean, I want to pick her brain. I want to see what it's like working for Garrett. But, yeah. Do we want to get straight into that?
I mean, maybe a little bit. Just touch up on it. Just say, hey, I was there. What was fun about it? Did you see anything cool?
What was the coolest reptile you saw there?
Does it have to be a reptile?
Ooh.
I know her answer now.
Oh, man.
Was what?
Is it an animal?
Yeah, okay. What was the coolest? Because, I mean, it was like a reptile show, a bird show. I mean, Rami crushed it.
Show and
Succulent
an aquarium show. So it was insane.
Wild.
If you guys haven't been, you should definitely go.
This is your mic. You're going to have to get a little... I'm loud.
If you guys haven't been, you should definitely go.
All right. So what was the favorite animal?
A diamond dove.
A diamond dove. There's a little bit of a story to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell it because your version probably would get me in trouble. I've heard her version. It's a little bit artalized, I think, the way to say it. So, U.S. Ark auction, we like to go. We throw down. I did get a couple things at the U.S. Ark auction, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got a really cool, like a Papua New Guinea hand-painted thing that was donated by Dan O'Leary.
Okay.
We got a ball python and a hognose snake for our educational programs, which is pretty exciting. The ball python we got from U.S. Ark, the hognose, shout out to my buddy Matt over at SoCal Herps. If you guys haven't seen this guy's hognose, I think he's like, if you're into hognose, you definitely know who he is. But if you're not, he's like the best kept secret in the hognose breeding stuff. He has like all the stuff I really like. But anyways, he was cool and donated one to our educational program. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But when I was outside talking, I think I was talking to Dave Levinson at the time.
So it's not my fault. It's his.
It's Dave Levinson's
Oh, okay. All right. Let's blame Dave.
fault. Riley ran in to the auction, live auction. I wasn't even there, but
You
like,
told me to go in. You said go sit.
go sit at our table. Yeah, like save a spot, whatever,
Right,
you know,
right.
hang out.
Yeah.
But apparently you were throwing your hand up in a U.S. ARC auction.
Oh my goodness. I would have been too scared. That's crazy.
She was not scared. She was in there. What was worse was like, you know, I love Phil Goss, but Phil, what are you doing letting my 12-year-old daughter bid at an auction and win an item? So what did you bid on and win?
My dove, diamond dove.
They had a bunch of birds in the show because
Wow.
of the bird thing, donated
Yeah.
U.S. ARC auction. So that was
Yeah,
cool. So
awesome.
what was the live auction like that you were bidding on?
It was crazy. It was great.
Who were you bidding against?
I don't know.
Other kids, adults, reptile people?
I'm assuming other kids and other adults. Definitely reptile people.
You weren't
that's
paying
for sure.
attention. You were just throwing your hands up and trying to win this
I
thing.
was paying attention to what I was bidding for.
So she wins this bird. You know what I mean? We don't have any birds. So it's like, it's one thing if you know, are house snakes, feed snakes, care for snakes, and you get a snake. Like I just mentioned, I got a ball python and a hognose. Why don't you pull the ball python out of? You know where he's at? Hanging
No.
in the rack. Oh, he's right over there in the new.
Okay.
I think maybe he's the one on the bottom. That might be the hognose. Anyway, if you're housing snakes, don't bring the hognose. There you go. Yep. So, you know, that's easy. But birds, it's like I need a cage, I need food, I need the whole setup. This is not a good thing to purchase on impulse. So I was like, we have to give this bird away right now. You can't take it home. You can't take a bird on a plane. And then Duran Guerrero, thank you, Duran, looked up the regulations for Southwest Cargo that said if you have a pet on the airplane, as long as it fits under the seat in front of you, it's
18
okay.
by 16 by 4.
And it gave dimensions, which your cage that you got the bird with was too big for those dimensions.
I found somebody who had a bigger bird in a smaller cage. Traded cages.
Traded down to a cage that
Sure.
would fit his carry-on.
So you could, that's crazy.
Then we get to the airport, and what does the guy from Southwest tells us?
Can't bring birds, only for cats and dogs.
That rule's only for dogs and cats. So we're like, we gotta give the bird away. There was a little boy in there. We're like, maybe we'll give it to him. Hey, kid, want a bird? You know, like, I don't know. What are you gonna do?
But
right? What?
the TSA people do a little spiel. It sound like you're smart. They let us through. It was nice.
So
Huh?
she pulled the all fake it till you make it thing.
What?
I don't know where she learned that.
What was it? What'd you say?
Well, what did you say to
You get
TSA?
someone
So we went
fired?
up to like TSA through security or whatever.
Right. And if you just like talk like you know what you're talking about, and like you're like
Just act confident and be like, put my bird through. And they're like, oh, a bird. Oh, like several of them are like, never seen a bird before. You're like, yeah, there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
It's not allowed. But
Mhm.
they did. They took the bird around the side, bypassed
Yeah.
security. I think you just got like the right guy.
yeah, that's for sure.
And then we
For
were
sure.
afraid the airline wouldn't let it on, so you got a bag. I don't know if we should be admitting to smuggling animals.
We
Yeah,
didn't
like,
on
you
airplanes
smuggle.
live on
They
YouTube.
said we could, so I'm putting that out now. They said we could. We simply
One
put it in
person
a
said
bag.
you couldn't. One person said you could.
But the person who said we couldn't
We
wasn't the
selectively
safety
listened.
person.
Bought a big bag, covered the bird up in it, and stuck it under the seat, and it
We-
didn't make any noise on the way.
We
That
didn't
was
really
good.
cover it. You could have seen it if you really wanted to. So like we weren't smuggling. It was there.
That's
Yeah.
not how that worked. So anyway, we got the bird all the way home.
Wow,
and,
congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
All
yeah.
right. Good
we,
show.
We no longer have the bird.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was a short-lived victory. If you want to see the bird, you can go on our Instagram. Every time I come back to Pittsburgh, I post a picture in the airport with the T-Rex. And so we got a picture with us and the T-Rex and your little dinosaur. And then, yeah, we were getting it all set up the next day or whatever, and found a Petco employee that you were like, she seems like she would like the bird more than me, and decided to give it up.
Not like it more than me.
You loved it
Treat
so
it-
much more than you.
Treat it better.
What did you name the bird?
Banana boom.
Awesome name.
So
That's
now
a-
she could say
I
she had a
know,
pet
right?
bird for, what, 2 days?
Be cool.
Well, I mean, it
It's a
counts.
good bird.
You had a bird for 2 days.
Don't regret a single cent.
Yeah.
So we talked a little about the ball python. Garrett, what do you have in your hand right now?
Yeah, this is a Motley Orange Glow. This is one of our snakes here at Reach Out Reptiles. It's going to be a holdback. So we need a name for her, and that's where you guys come in. We'll have to name her at the end.
Awesome, guys. Stick around for that. And so we talked a little about the merch that we're bringing to Retic Fest, but I got a couple more.
This is a big, well, go ahead.
Got a couple more photos concerning Retic Fest.
photos.
Real quick, I'm going to show you this one. You don't know what these photos are?
No.
Here we go.
Enjoy.
Bam. That is our sign, our big sign with our 4 sponsors, guys. That is Chewy, Palm Street, Flukers Farms, and US Arc. They're going to be sponsored at Retic Fest 25. And guys, just let me know in the chat what you think of this sign. Garrett was very proud of it, as she's seen from the photo here.
Is that the only photo?
No, we've got another photo.
Oh, okay. Let's see the other photo, and then
The
I'll
other
talk about our
photo
sponsors.
is-
This is pretty fun.
Not the Palm Street one. I get so disorganized.
Are you sure you have?
This is it. They're a makeshift Reach Out Reptiles mugs. Now, in this photo, they're not done yet, but we're going to have a ton that you'd be able to purchase at Retic Fest.
So we're gonna have a new merch drop.
drop. Very fun. So those are just 2 more updates for Retic Fest. We can't wait to see you guys there. I'm so excited.
So this is actually pretty cool. Retic Fest has been getting bigger and bigger. This is our 5th annual Retic. There have been a lot of spin-off of these reptile fests, right?
Yeah.
We're definitely one of them. I mean, I went to Northeast Carpet Fest, and I was like, this is the coolest event ever. It's just like a backyard barbecue with a bunch of guys that have gotten together that enjoy the same animals. It was all kind of like potluck style, and I think at their peak, the one that first one I went to, I think was their biggest one, and it was like close to 100 people, which is a big event. It was pretty sweet.
Huge event.
But it's great to get everyone together and talk and stuff like that because, you know, I don't know, you just have so much more interesting conversations face to face. The communication is better, just like texting versus like being in a Facebook group or something like that. Yeah, and it's just interesting to get people together face to face. And meet these people. Sometimes you've known them for years and never met them, right? Because you have this online community. So that's what we wanted to do. We started off, it was cool. I think the first one was like 50, and then it jumped up from there.
Mm.
Well, this one we had to like stop it, because we had over 300 RSVPs already. So that's a pretty big deal. It's going to be a wild Retic Fest, I think.
Yeah.
Which
For
is-
sure.
It's pretty sweet. But hosting all this people, like we have food catered and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of expense that goes into throwing an event like that. It's a huge deal. It's almost like 300 people. That's a big wedding if you're throwing a wedding.
Honestly,
You know what I mean?
honestly.
And this has just about as many moving elements as a wedding. You have people traveling in from out of town. Where are they going to stay? All this stuff. How are they going to eat? Can you keep them all alive? Do you have enough toilet paper for the weekend? You know, there's a lot of logistics involved.
I don't know. 300 people. That's a lot of toilet paper.
That's a lot of people. So, anyways, it's a pretty big deal. So this is the first year that we opened up to have some sponsors, and I'm super glad that these companies have stepped up. It's really cool. The people, what I love about it, if you look at the list of sponsors, they're major companies, right? First off, we have like US Arc. They're kind of an honorary sponsor, so we didn't take any money for US Arc to put on a Retic Fest or anything. But I mean, we're counting them as a sponsor just because of like how much they do for the reptile industry. I don't think we'd be able to meet in person and do these things publicly without US Arc at this point. So that's why they're on there.
Yeah.
These other companies, from where you sit or where you interact with them online, a lot of times they can seem like these faceless giants or whatever. But when you are really connected within the industry, you get to meet the people behind the scenes. It is so much fun. And everybody's sponsoring. They weren't even like looking for, crazy shout outs or all this kind of stuff. They weren't asking for any of that. They're just like, we're glad that you're doing this kind of thing. How can we help? So we have Chewy.com. We've got Fluker Farms, and then we've got Palm Street. So, Chewy is an online retailer of pet supplies. Fluker, they do a lot, like, I think their primary is still like feeder insects and stuff like that, but they have a ton of different products. I've been using them since the 90s, back all the way back to when I bought my iguana food from there. And then you have Palm Street, which is like an app. It's like an online streaming, educational, and auction app. So really cool, but it's going to be, I can't wait because we have like C-level reps from each of those companies coming in to meet you guys in person, which should be really cool because I know a lot of you have, between the three of them, you've definitely been interacting with them online somewhere. So it'll be cool for you guys to meet my friends from those companies. And I'm really excited that they're helping us to keep putting on Retic Fest so we can keep making it happen. Then beyond that, we also have some breeders, like hobbyist breeders and things like that have been stepping up to sponsor it. So we'll get a complete list of that for you guys before we get into the show. But it's really been cool seeing those guys jump in at a different sponsorship level. And that's been really cool. So yeah, it kind of shows you who's really making, waves, moves, lots of intent in 2025
for sure.
and things like that. So those guys are really cool. So really excited about those guys as well. Some of you guys watching, I'm sure you are already coordinating those sponsorships and know who you are and all that stuff. So that's great.
Carlo Hernandez says Palm Street is making him go broke. All your live shows.
It's so fun, isn't it? Like dangerously fun. It's like super. If you guys aren't on there, you got to get on. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but it's been a lot of fun to hang out. In fact, we have some stuff set up for behind the scenes with our Patreon, but you can get this behind the scenes, vibe, feel, and stuff like that on Palm Street as well.
Can't wait to try it.
Yeah, you're not. No more bidding for you. You're done. So, anyways.
Awesome.
So, yeah, weekend was great. It's really cool to see a lot of people. We've ended as Bushveld Reptiles. We actually had a competition, me versus Riley.
Wow.
Who could sell the most snakes? I want to hear what you guys think. Who do you think won snake sale?
Who won the snake sale?
Yeah, the Challenger or the Old Buck? Like, what do you guys think? Who sold the most snakes?
Garrett or Riley?
So you have Warren Klein there, who grew up with these things in South Africa. Bushveld Reptiles is his company. Mm-hmm. You had me just jumping in and kind of like helping him out.
Yeah,
I've been keeping and breeding these things to an obscene level. So it's really fun to talk about them.
And then you have the third wheel.
And then the third wheel here, who neither has any house snakes nor has vended a reptile show ever. But I guess you make up for it enthusiasm. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, it was pretty fun. We had a little competition going on with some money on the line.
That's true.
If you guys don't know, Riley's highly motivated by financial earnings.
I wouldn't say highly.
She likes having her own money. These
right.
shoes on her feet, she bought them.
Let's see who's. So, Sonia said Riley.
No.
Sonia said Riley. Gail said Riley. Garrick said Old Buck. Old Buck won.
Let's go. Come on.
Cody Houseman said Riley. Tony Tomasi said Riley sold us.
You're winning in the
ours.
comments, too.
Oh, so it looks like a lot of people saying Riley.
There.
Yeah, wow.
So Riley's total figures for the number of snakes sold, which these things were popping off. It was like, those of you guys who were there, if you looked in the displays, like we reloaded it both days. But by the end, it was like there's a few snakes left in each one. It did. It was like sold all over the place. But Riley actually sold more snakes than me and Warren combined.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
Do we have like a little applause thing?
We should. I'll just do it by
Studio
hand.
audience.
There we go.
It's my charm kicking in.
Very good.
All right.
So the reason why we have Riley here tonight is we have an upcoming video with our Hartle Kids clutch. Right? Mm-hmm. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
These guys have actually bred their own Superdorf retics for the second year in a row. And one of the things, like, okay, if you're getting something like this orange glow Molly, that's a gorgeous snake, but she would be in the thousands of dollars to buy. So a lot of people are buying these reptiles as investments. I think a lot of people don't make it to the finish line with their investments, so they buy,
Okay.
like, I mean, be honest, sometimes we say, this is an investment. I got a ball python over here. I'm never going to breed this ball. He's not an investment. He was a donation to USARK, and now we have a ball python, a beautiful looking
Yeah, I
ball
mean-
python for our educational programs.
It's, investment. That's a word we use to make ourselves feel better about spending a little money.
About
here
spending
and
too
there.
much money.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I could
exactly.
have got a cheap snake. If I got
Yeah.
that dwarf wild type male, it would have been the same, size and everything as my super dwarf,
Right,
snow
right.
platinum female or whatever, but 10 times less money.
Uh-huh.
So, but you guys actually grew your snakes up. They have 4 females they've tried to breed, but we got 1 clutch this year.
Yeah.
Just 1. We got 2 clutches last year, 1
Same
clutch
breed.
this year. A lot of them are young and they're still growing up. But what we did was we took all of the, I think a lot of times people talk about snake breeding if you're intentionally doing it, and they're like, it's a pyramid scheme, or it's a fake thing. It's not, Meanwhile, you go to these giant reptile shows and there's 400 hobbyist breeders, on
Sure.
top of all these like actual professional companies breeding reptiles and stuff. But these hobbyist breeders are like putting out money to be at these shows, having a good time. It costs thousands of dollars to vend a show like that.
Oh, yeah.
And there's hundreds of people willing to do it because they're making money with their reptiles. The question is, like, how real is it though, right? Is this a real thing? Is this something that, like, okay, Reach Out Reptiles does it, can anyone else do it, right? And I think there's a few caveats of ways that you need to set yourself up, which you should watch next week's video.
Yeah.
To make sure that you can see this. But our kids did it. They actually, you guys did all the care and everything of the snakes and stuff up through the breeding. All I would do is bring a male home. It was like a breeding loan, right? Reach Out Reptiles as a company and Hartle Kids. And so we did like a breeding loan thing, and I bring the male home and they do the intros and all that kind of stuff. They hatch snakes. We had a plan, like how much would this theoretically be worth? And then we saw what hatched. Sometimes you get good odds, sometimes bad. We priced all those out. And then we sold all the snakes. That's a third number there, because once you've collected the money, you come to realize, like, this is not the same amount of money I was expecting. It could be less. Shoot, with Palm Street, we've gotten more on some snakes. So what is the actual reality of it? The cool thing is, they just hatched this year's babies. They've never been on Morph Market. They're very cool. If you like the babies that you see in next week's video, you're going to have to shoot us an email or a phone number, get us a call, let us know what you're looking for. But last year's babies are done and gone, and they got a new clutch now. With the advent of this new clutch, we thought it would be cool to just publicly share how much money my kids made. How do you feel about that?
Wow.
Why not? She don't care. It ain't taboo. We talk about money in the Hartle household all the time, which was kind of taboo when I was growing up. Like, you don't ask dad how much money he made,
Sure.
whatever. But we talk about this thing is something we've planned out from the beginning. Plans, how's it going to work? We debated whether or not we were going to like have holdbacks or reinvest our money. But we plan to share all of this stuff with you. Like, what did we plan? What did we hatch? What was it priced at? And it was a cool clutch too, because it was like, I think the lowest priced animals were like $350, and the highest priced ones were like $4,000. And it was literally like an even split all the way down. So everything in between, very cool to see. But you guys are gonna have to tune in if you've ever thought about breeding snakes and trying to like sell the babies. You need to watch this video. If you haven't thought about it, but you're an avid snake keeper, you're gonna have to watch this video, because I think it would be kind of cool just to see the reality of it and see how that checks out. What do you guys think? Is that gonna be an interesting video? Let us know in the comments section. And then, yeah, Riley, I'd just like to know, how has that been for you? So you're in what grade?
I'm in 7th grade, but I'm
Okay, that means you're in 8th grade now. Going into
grader.
8th grade, summer vacation here. You are how old?
12.
12 years old. And you get to say that you have your own little side hustle business.
Mm-hmm.
Your version of a lemonade stand includes pythons.
Right.
How's that worked out for you? What has been like the actual difference? So obviously there's work responsibilities and stuff. What kind of like real difference has it made in your life?
I definitely have a lot more cash in my pocket, a lot more bigger numbers in my
Let's
bank
start there.
account. So that's always nice. The best part about it, I
She
think,
can bid on her own birds. By the way, that was her money at USARK, not mine.
I can bid on my own birds.
She's a USARK contributor now.
Plus, but I think the best part about it, honestly, is despite the upfront cost. Sure, you gotta buy the cage. Sure, you gotta buy everything like right from the start, unless you already have snakes, which then you're loaded. You're good. But
Well, if you have the right snakes, I think that's a big part.
right, that's true. But I thought it was going to be a lot more work, just cleaning wise and just making sure they're happy. But honestly, it really takes, for the most part, an hour a week from like me, like taken out of my day. Sometimes even less whenever the cages are really clean. Plus, like whenever you walk by, just check the water, make sure everything's good. Maybe a little spot cleaning, like here or there. So I think it must have been the biggest change, just having to take an hour out of my week. But even then, it wasn't a big change. However, if you ask Kira, her room's now loaded with snakes. So I think
Yeah, so we kind of split Kira's. I mean, to be fair, Kira's whole room was our last breeding facility. So she got it split in half, which I think she still has the biggest room for the kids. But the other half of it has snakes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's
Very
pretty
cool.
pretty fun, and it was really neat. Like, so you're saying, okay, 4 hours a month or whatever
Yeah.
is what you're putting out there, and the monthly earning is like, a 2-week paycheck for most people. So it's like having an extra paycheck every month, which has been sweet. So I don't know, 2025 seems like something some people might. That's all I'm saying. So it's been pretty fun, but yeah, we'll open up and share with you guys on that. I thought it was cool to have like a case study, real world case study. And honestly, this clutch is like a fairly average clutch. The male was nice, and so was the female. Female was like a high percentage Super Dwarf anery, and the male was an albino Motley GC Tiger head anery. So pretty good genetics, but nothing crazy. I mean, I think that female, when she hatched, was $1,500, and the male was like $3,500. So $5,000 pair of snakes, and the male potentially could breed like other females, and you guys didn't even pay for the male, just breeder loan.
Yep.
So you're into at $1,500 and making more than 10 times that amount every year. Crazy. We'll get into the actual numbers in next week's video again.
Yeah.
Check it out. All right. Should we name a snake?
I think it's time to name a snake.
Now, that one already has a name, right? We're not naming him. This one needs a name.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why don't you put that guy back? What's up, buddy?
Bye, buddy.
He has
I
a
love
cute
you.
head stamp.
You got a cute little face.
Yep. All right. So, guys, we have a female orange glow motley here. Beautiful snake. Now, here's the way it works. Jeremy, why don't you tell him how it works?
Yeah, I'll tell him.
I
Guys.
still have my reptile show voice.
While he's Vanna Whiting that snake over there, I'm gonna tell you this first. So, guys, you've waited this long. This is our orange glow motley. I said that right?
Yep.
Orange glow motley. What I need you guys to do is send me all of your name suggestions for what this snake should be named. Oh, we got Riley on the camera with with the glasses on. There we go. So what should the name of this snake be? Orange Glow Motley. Send in your suggestions right now, and
Just
Garrett,
chat 'em out.
who does
Chat
not
them out,
see
type them out quick.
chat.
Female orange glow motley.
Female Orange Glow Motley.
Jeremy's gonna read them off, and you're gonna pick one based on merit alone.
Garrett.
What do you think
What's
the
merit?
best name is? You
Ooh,
don't know
okay.
who's chatting in,
Okay.
so you can't pick from your friends. It's only the right name. So
Random.
the way I do this, what's up?
Completely random. Adding on.
Yep. So the way I do this is I look at the snake, and then I taste it. Go ahead. No, don't actually.
Whoa,
That's
what?
not
You are actually
salmonella. That's
crazy. Disgusting.
not Riley.
You said taste it.
I was joking. Anyway, no, you look at the snake, you observe the snake, not using all of your senses, generally just sight. Maybe it has to do with the attitude. A lot of them get named after the fact that they poop on me on stage. But you just look at the snake as he reads off suggestions, and you see if one just, hits you right here, like, yes, that is a such and such. How did you come up, while they're chatting in, how did you come up with, what was your bird's name again?
Banana Boom Boom.
How did you know that that was the right name for that bird?
I just looked at him, a miraculous ladybug, and I was like, it's Banana Boom Boom.
But you knew the moment you looked at him.
The moment I looked at his red beady eyes.
And you wanted to call him Boomer.
Yes.
That's awesome.
All right.
Awesome, guys.
Okay, so that's it.
All
What
right.
we need to do. What name do you think Riley will pick? And here's the deal. Whatever name she picks is this snake's name for life. Now, there is a caveat. We have so many snakes downstairs that a lot of the names that get shouted out every week are snakes that we already have. So I know all their names. So if they shout out a name that we already have, excuse me, jet lag. If they shout out a name we already have, I'll let you know, and you'll have to pick up another one. And sorry to those of you guys that pick the best name, but it's already been picked. It's the way it is. All right, are we ready?
Ready. Mm-hmm. Folks, get in your last second suggestions. I'll read them off. We have Albie. Oh, I hope I'm saying Aubie. Albie. Princess Peaches. Xanadu. Taters. Riley Jr. Kitty. Diamond. Breckenridge. Clementine. Sienna. Toast. Snuggle. Buttercake. Mistress Fluffy Pants. And Tango. Oh, last second, Sahara. What do we think, Riley?
Okay. I think one of them was Princess Peach, and then one of them was Tango, right?
Yep.
I'm between those two. But
Okay.
I think I gotta go with Princess Peach just because the tone of her skin, like, it's just beautiful. The
Peachy.
white. Yeah, the peachy white. I'm a sucker for that.
Excellent. Congratulations, Hannah Lily, for that name
Hannah
suggestion.
Lily, how many of ours have you named now?
Too many.
That wasn't even me picking this time.
Way too many.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. All right. Well, guys, we have some cool stuff to talk with you about in our little after party. We're going to hang out, see what you guys are up to. So if you guys want to be a part of that. Also, by the way, Retic Fest is like a thank you for our Patreon community. That's where it is. That and other events that we do, both online and in person. So if you're missing out on that, sorry, but you need to join our Patreon. So the link is in the description below. If you join real quick, you can jump in there and we'll talk to you in our after party. But thanks, everyone. Thanks, Hannah, for naming the snake. Thank you to our sponsors, especially Ship Your Reptiles, who sponsors the show every episode that we do. Make sure your animals are getting shipped there right, getting there safely. I know that was a big concern of mine with this show, but they got the job done. So